Let me say good morning to one and all. How's everyone doing this morning? It's Friday. It's the 11th day of April, 2025. Welcome to the Point program this morning. Let me say good morning to those of you via social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channel. You may have just logged into the live. Let me say good morning to you. Am I the first to have said good morning to you for the day thus far, or for the morning thus far? Anyway, I hope you're having an awesome day thus far. Yeah, well, the day has not progressed that much, but, you know, all the best. Anyway, it's to the point this morning, and it's an open line edition we're going to be having for today, which means I leave it to the option of you listeners and viewers. I haven't come up with any particular subject matter this morning that I would like us to discuss on. So I'll leave it open just a wee bit. You have the option of starting a debate in any particular conversation level that you'd like us to speak on this morning. I, of course, giving you, our listeners and viewers, the option to calling via the whether it's the WhatsApp or you can call the direct line. And let me hear from you this morning. Issues, your opinions, of course, your 2 cents, as some folks like to put it in, of course, of various issues surrounding our beautiful islands this morning. So the lines are open to you to do so. The usual, of course, procedure that we follow. Make sure that when you're calling in, whatever device you have in the background is turned off completely, or the volume is as minimal as possible, so that we don't have that issue of that feedback when you're on air. And you can certainly will hear me nice and clear via the telephone. All right, keep your conversation as minimal as possible, just to the point, so we can accommodate as much callers as we can during this 1 hour segment that we have. Let's go to the phone line and say good morning to our first caller. We lost our first caller there, 435-2041. 435-2041. You could also, of course, send a message in terms of what you would like to say via the WhatsApp, 435-2041. If you prefer a message via the WhatsApp, you can do that also if you do not wish to call in. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, GT. How are you doing?
I am doing good. How are you this morning?
Okay, Gracelyn.
Gracelyn, how are you? And how are you doing? Long time.
Okay, a long time. I see you on radio, on television. You're doing radio again.
We are back. But we are actually on both. We are both on GBN TV and Classic Radio. How are you this morning?
Everything okay. I'm calling to say good morning to Dr. Kit Mitchell.
All right.
And good morning to you.
All right. Best wishes goes out to you.
And have a blessed day.
You too. Wish you all the best also. Let's go to the WhatsApp caller. Good morning, you're live. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're live. WhatsApp caller. Good morning. Guess we lost that caller there via the WhatsApp. 435-2041. Let's hear from you this morning. The lines are opened. And let's hear, of course, your contributions that you would like to make this morning. We'll go back to the phone line. Caller, you are live. Good morning and welcome.
Hi. Good morning and thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I just want to congratulate the students and also the adults who were at Intercall. And I'd like to thank the police for a good job that they did. And it was safe. There were no incidents that I heard of. And the children did disperse song at a good time last night.
All right.
So I just want to say thanks for everything to God.
All right. You're certainly welcome also. Have a good morning yourself. 435-2041. Someone is saying, good morning, Glen. How you doing? Yes, my direct name. Long time I have folks call me by my direct name. Anyway, this is what this individual is saying. Just want to say congratulations to all the athletes in this year Intercall games. Let's go to the WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're live. I'm not sure if we're having an issue here via the WhatsApp. That may need to be looked into. But it's either they're not hearing me or I'm not hearing them, one of the two. But that may need to rectify. 435-2041, 435-2041. As we speak, let me see if we can have that WhatsApp issue rectified. So once again, the lines are open to you folks, listeners and viewers this morning. 435-2041. If you do have a question or two that you may, of course, not a question I say, you may want to, of course, contribute towards today's program some way or the other. Whether you, of course... just want to say good morning. I'll send a congratulations to the various, of course, to the particular school that won. So you feel free to do so in today's program. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
While we congratulate the athletes and the Principals Association and everybody who took part. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you, sir. Go right ahead.
Everybody who took part in the sports and the schools that won and so on. I'm not in politics, I don't like politics. But I'm pretty sure if I was, I might have been with the NDC party because Mr. Brisson, George Brisson, told me that at one time they were going to divide St. David into two constituencies. And one of the constituency he was going to give me to run there. That being said, I think we have to give Jack his jacket and Jill unmentionables, and that if the wasn't for the stadium constructed by the former administration, we would not been able to reach that height that we reach in athletics.
All right.
And that being said, I rest my case.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your contribution. Have a great morning. Let's go back to the WhatsApp, see if we have that functioning. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're live. Caller, good morning. I am not sure what's happening there via the WhatsApp. For some reason, I'm not hearing the callers via the WhatsApp this morning. I am seeing everything is functioning normally for some reason or the other, but not sure what's going on. Anyway, let's forego the WhatsApp for now. Seem to be having some issue there. Let's go to the direct line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Morning, GT. Morning to the listeners and morning to your viewers.
Good morning to you, sir.
I didn't plan to call immediately, but just to tell you, Innocent did say that there seemed to be a problem with the WhatsApp, and he had said.
Well, I'm actually trying to rectify as we speak, so that's why I'm getting that out.
You will be rectified, so there is a problem.
All right.
That's why you're not getting through. With people not getting through. But let me make my contribution forthwith. I think we must be pleased with how things have transpired in the last few days with our young people and the general population. And I think indeed we should learn certain lessons and see certain other projections that we can do. Some people have already started to shared some ideas of what should happen. One of it was it's good that the population here in Grenada was able to see or hear the proceeding free via the electronic media. But the person suggested that we should charge through pay-per-view, and I do agree with that for people outside Grenada, because we are subsidizing it for them, so they could pay a little. That's one. The other thing is, I think I was thinking overnight, just as how, and is interested that one of the callers this morning referred to the Intercallers Grenada Olympics, which probably could be seen in that light. I was thinking one of the things that is done leading up to the Olympics is the creation of a song for the occasion. And I was thinking if we can get the children, the young people, especially those who are involved in the singing area, to come up with a song as part of the build-up. It will be very good to make it, inclusive, to make it holistic, that all aspect is being integrated. Now they're talking about the drum corps and the march pass and all of that. That is helping to instill discipline or skills and so on. Mm-hmm. So I think these are things that we could carry forward and integrate and build on to help to build the spirit. One of my concerns is the intrusion of business into the sports. In some other jurisdiction, they are calling for business to get out of the education because of how they have the problem that is happening in terms of school having to toe the line of the particular business interests. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have business, but that should be managed. Otherwise you lose the spirit. The same thing happening in Carnival. We have where we had the Monday night mass affecting the Monday the pageant and so on. We need to, when we doing things, we need to really not calculate, but look at what implications they would have, even though there might be immediate benefits. So these are some of the things I think we could look at. In addition, I think if we could carry over the spirit that came with intercourse into other aspects of our life, whether it's involved in the community, you know, it would be good, for instance, if we could have, say, community sports activity or something like that where an entire community come together and, you know, to build the spirit, you know, especially based on the existential threat we are facing with the adverse weather and climate change and so on. That would be good because we need to have that community collective spirit rather than an individual me and I spirit. Thank you very much.
Thank you also. Have a great morning. Have a great morning. It's an open line edition here of To The Point. We're moving down to just around 12 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour this morning here on the program. I think I may have had that WhatsApp problem rectified just a wee bit. So folks who wants to give it a try, once again, you have the option of doing so. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number if you want to be part of today's edition of To The Point. The lines are open. Of course, the dominant conversation this morning, or the conversation that seems to be dominating thus far from the few calls that we have had thus far, it seems to dwell on the, of course, just concluded 53rd GAPS Intercall Championship. And I want to say congratulations to the winning team. It's Grenada Boys Secondary School in the Boys Division, and the St. David's, of course, school. I always seem to miss the name of the school for some reason or the other. In the female division, congratulations to both. And all the individual winners of the various events. Of course, you all have certainly made your schools and yourself, your parents, and everyone, Grenada as a whole, proud. Let's go back to the phone line. We do have another caller. Caller, you good morning and you're welcome.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Telesford. Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear, sir. Go right ahead.
God's richest blessing, son. Listen. The prize to the one who owns it. You know that line, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. Great. Congratulations to all the winners and even the also ran. Nice job.
Yep.
But one of the observations made by others, and I usually coincide, is the expression of the capacity of expression of the secondary school students in their interviews. And so this morning I want to briefly go into a 2-minute maximum bit of grammatical pedantry observations that I've made. One, Mr. Telesford, with you. Because you were speaking about callers, it is incorrect to say as much callers, as many callers. I'm not criticizing you, I'm just correcting you. I trust that you would just take it as it is. No offense meant, Mr. Telesford, so with all due respect. Huh? But something I heard from the minister, or so-called minister, or thus referred to minister, or ergo named minister, because some people don't like to hear me say called, so-called, because they don't understand the meaning. It's not my fault that I study the language and understand it. I'll call him ergo named minister. When he was referring to his cabinet colleagues, and to quote him now, who have gone to the Grenada Boys Secondary School. Now, what is he really saying there? In the first instance, it is evident that he doesn't understand this lesson. The verbs go and come in the English language has 2 past participles, I repeat. The verb go and the verb come in the English language has 2 past participles. Go, gone, and been. Come, came, and, pardon, what did I say again? Yeah. Come and been. Let's repeat, come. Come as a past participle, come and been. Briefly how it operates. You cannot tell a person, have you ever gone, or ask a person, have you ever gone to Colombia? No. Because if he's gone, he's either on the way or there. So you ask, have you ever been? Meaning that you went and came back. Just the same to come. Imagine that you're in your office and your son is outside. The secretary comes and tells you or calls you and says, your son has come to see you. Hallelujah. Why come? Because he's outside there. But if you were out and when you came back in, she had to transmit a message with a visit related to the visit of your son, she would ask you, your son has been to see you because he came and he left. I trust the lesson is clear. Imagine, not even a cock at clear. I trust that the lesson is understood. Mr. Minister for Education, let us be meticulously careful what we say because you're in front of a whole load of children. And imagine if the minister says so, it becomes gospel. A word to the wise. Mr. Telesford, do have a nice day. Will you? We'll chat again. And by the way, I should say, I'm counting down because the Satan season is getting very close. And you know, when it comes close, I disappear for some time. But in the interim, that is where I will focus. Do have a nice day, will you, sir?
You too, sir. Have a good one. 435-2041, 435-2041. The lines are open to you, folks. Let's hear from you this morning. And let's go to the WhatsApp. There's a message from here from someone via the WhatsApp, and is saying, was it sometime earlier this week? Was it Monday or so? This individual called in and said that she lost a lamb, and of course she would like to say it has been returned, and she's happy that it has been returned. Of course, she wants to thank the individual who have been returned the property. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you going?
Doing well, sir. Doing well. Good morning to you.
Okay, then. Well, I just want to make a few points. One of them is relation to something that was bantered about a few days ago concerning the Muslims and the noise that they are making down in Calais. I just want to suggest that tolerance must be the name of the game when you are in another person's country. Because by all indications is that the natives, Grenadians go there and talk to them. They don't want to listen. They just believe that they're just doing the thing and saying, well, all of this and all of that. I want to remind us that if you are on a cruise ship that go in Saudi Arabia or in any part of the Mediterranean, before you land, you will hear on the intercom on that boat that here what happened, you are embarking on a particular country. Be careful of the way you dress, what you say, how you look, and your conduct must be of a certain nature. If in case these people come to our countries, you have freedom of worship, and that is nice. Never take into consideration your freedom of worship to disrupt people and don't even want to listen to what the people in the country saying. I think that is not proper, and it doesn't augur well for the future. When you look at how criminal activities is happening in other people in other countries in the Caribbean, Grenada, our country is still a very good country to live in. Tolerance must be continued and must be preached by everyone. Otherwise, we will end up in a state where I can't tolerate what you're doing. I go retaliate. So I think that it is necessary that the police comes in and or not even the police, the politician or whatsoever, and let us be tolerant to one another. I will rest my case at this point, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good morning. Hey, folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it. 435-2041, that's the number. When we come back, that's the number you can call to be part of today's program, the Open Line Edition. We'll be right back after the break. Don't touch it out.
In the arena of life, we find strength, determination, and the will to overcome. As athletes, we strive not just to win, but to excel in every endeavor. For as it is written in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 24 to 25, let us strive for excellence, not just on the field, but in life. For in our efforts, we find the strength to conquer and the courage to endure. Keep pushing forward. Keep striving. Keep believing.
Need to install or repair your plumbing? We've got you covered. Whether you're setting up a new washing machine, replacing a leaking faucet, or fixing that pesky dripping pipe, the Plumbing Supply Store is your go-to place in Grenada. We offer a wide range of plumbing products to make both new installations and maintenance a breeze. Our shelves are stocked with top quality products including pressure and waste fittings. And if you've been struggling with blocked drains, have you heard of Melt? This powerful drain-on-blocker liquid is a game changer, designed to prevent and clear blockages, making it ideal for hairdressers dealing with clogged wash sinks. We also carry a wide selection of repair kits and replacement parts to bring new life to all plumbing fixtures. Visit us today on the Woodlands Main Road or call 444-1377 for expert advice, top-notch products, and a warm welcome. at the supply store. We do everything plumbing.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. Moving down to 20 minutes after 9 o'clock here on the program this morning. And it's an open line edition of To The Point. We take in your calls. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning to the caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Go right ahead, please.
Yes. Just a little, on the same topic of the intercall. It always amazes me that why some schools could do so well at the intercall in terms of points and so on, and some schools, other schools could barely make 1 point on the board, average 1 point. So I think the Principal Association and the Ministry of Education and Sports must look and see what they can do to some very established schools like St. John's Christian Secondary School with 1 point, and other schools with very, very low points. What is the problem there? It's the same children, same grade and children, they eat the same food, they walk the same road, and it just amazes me why some schools cannot do so well.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Great observation there. 435-2041, 435-2041. I think we have the WhatsApp back up and running. If you want to call via that medium, feel free to do so. 435-2041. Open line edition of To The Point. As mentioned in the intro, there's no particular subject matter that we're talking about this morning. It's an open line, which means you feel to, of course, express your views and concerns on various issues this morning that is of concern to you. Of course, the just concluded inter-college games have just wrapped up, and it seemed to be the dominant conversation this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Good morning, Julian.
Good morning to you, sir. Go right ahead, please.
Yes. I enjoyed the meet yesterday. I'm very proud of what I saw from our young children. I want to say that the noise was a little bit much for me. I think they could tone it down. Even when they were asked to be silent, people were still blowing that flute or whatever it is. I think that was disrespectful and inconsiderate. Now, with respect to the delivery, the passing of the baton, I think we could have our coaches go out and help the schools that are not well tuned in doing relays and all of that, get them up to speed. So I think the Ministry of Sport should spend some time in coaching those schools that are not well experienced, like SAS and GBSS, to bring them up to speed. My name is Dennis Charles.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your contribution. 435-2041. The lines are open to, of course, you, our listeners and the viewers this morning. And you, of course, double option, as usual, I would say. Double options of calling in is whether you want to call via the WhatsApp or you can call via the direct line. Feel free to use any one of the mediums to call in. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to concur with the gentleman that spoke about the noise coming from the mosque in Telesford. I live in True Blue, and this thing goes on every day, the most inappropriate time of night, and it goes on. I am very conscious of other religions, and although I'm a Christian, and I also believe Grenada is a Christian country, so we must also respect the Muslim, but they must also respect us, as a Christian country. Very true about you cannot go in any Muslim country and don't conform to their laws. You have to live by it. So right. I don't know why our authorities cannot accommodate the Muslims, but they don't have to disturb the rest of us.
All right.
They don't have to. 20 years from now, Grenada will be having Sharia law. I don't know if you read the English press. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution also. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number to be part of today's program. Let's go to the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning. Still seem to be having an issue for some reason or the other. I'm not sure why. I'm not hearing, but tested it a while ago, and it seemed to be okay. I'm not sure what's happening. Anyway, we may have to forgo it once again. But caller, you're live. Good morning. Caller, good morning. Well, let's of course forgo that for a wee bit. I'm not sure what's going on, but tested it a while ago off air, and it seemed to be working pretty all right. I'm not sure what's wrong with it now. Let's continue with, of course, the open line conversation this morning here on the program, 435-2041, whether you want to call the direct line. For now, until we may have to look into the WhatsApp for some reason or the other, 435-2041. That's a number if you want to be part of today's program. Let's hear from you folks here on today's edition of To The Point. We're taking your calls, and whatever contribution you would like to make this morning, feel free to do so here on today's program. 435-2041. Good morning to those of you driving along on our nation's roads. Good morning to you. I always encourage you to drive along with that due care and attention. Please, as you're driving along, you're probably listening to the program as you're driving along this morning. Of course, looking for other road users. I beg of you to do that. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, 2 quick points. I want to concur with the caller that spoke about the noise. I actually have a cousin who has property down there, and they rented the apartment, and they actually had to leave. So it's very annoying, and it goes off all the time, and I think it's a matter of mutual respect. But we respect the religion, and they got to respect our culture, what have you.
All
Secondly, I want to agree with even the previous caller to that last one, that if you could find a way to assist the schools who can't make a point, get a point on the board, what that will do, it will help generally lift the standard if they have more competitions and not just between GBSS, SAS, maybe PBT, McDonald College. It will generally lift the sport and a whole. The other thing is, I'm not sure why we call it intercall games. It really should be intercall championships, because games is when you have multiple sporting disciplines taking place in one competition. So, for example, Sakurani James won gold in the World Athletics Championships and won gold in the Olympic Games. So I think there's a difference, and I think we can correct that. But I know we like to go along with what's been going on for years, so we just let it go along. But we can correct that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much also, caller. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number to be part of today's edition of To The Point. We're moving down to 28 minutes after the hour this morning, which means we are just about to wrap up our first 30-minute segment of today's program. The lines are open, folks. Feel free to give me a call here on the station, whether it's, of course... and I keep mentioning the WhatsApp for some reason, but I may have to forego use of the WhatsApp this morning. Somehow we're not hearing from it. It seemed to be working when I listen off air, but on air I'm not. When I go to put it on air, I seem to having some difficulties there. So they have to have that rectified. 435-2041, that's a number. So you may have to call me via the direct line this morning. Let's hear from you. Your take in terms of various issues that you may like to speak about. I, of course, am not going to, bring it down to one particular issue of the conversation this morning. So once again, it's an open line this morning here on today's program. Let's hear from you, listeners and viewers. Those of you via social media platforms, good morning. How are you doing? Whatever part of the world you're at, and listening and viewing, good morning to you. Certainly, thanks for being with us here on the program. We go back to the phone line. Caller, you are live. Good morning and you're welcome. Caller, you have whatever device is too loud in the background, have it lowered, please. Well, we may not able to accommodate if you have that device playing in the background. I think I said it in the start of the program this morning. Make sure whatever device you have in the background are turned off completely when you decide to call into the station, please. Whether it's a television or the radio, have it totally turned off when you decide to call in, so we don't have that issue of that feedback. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number that you can use to call in. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
No, a lot of things are bothering me. I'm not perfect. I don't think you are perfect. And nobody, to some extent, is perfect. So it bothers me that to hear that some people who have no experience in a particular field or field are blaming and saying things that are not true. For example, in the interview carried out by the young man yesterday, and he said he has nothing to say. He is within his democratic right. And every one of us talking about democracy, you have your democratic right to say what you want, or if you don't have nothing to say, it's best you don't say anything if what you say wouldn't make sense. So I agree with the mister that said, or the young chap who said he has nothing to say. Maybe if he had spoken, he might have said things beyond his conscience. As for me, sometimes I let sleeping dogs lie when I hear people say, as you know, because I always say, I do not know what they know. So it's best you say what you know, and don't assume that I know what you have to say. Now, when everybody, or majority of people have no experience in teaching, no experience in educating people, and we just want to, as people would say, run them out. In fact, education is fit to live and fit to live with. You must know when to speak, when not to speak. You must know if you can answer the question, what they ask you, if you want to give them a good answer, or if you want to reserve your opinion because you could have said, you see me, I would say something derogatory and it would affect the person. So I may withhold what I have to say as many times. Now this morning I've listened to a man that usually say very, very intelligent things, or uplifting things. And to some extent, he might know a few people like him, few people like me. I don't care who like me because I know I'm fit to live and I'm fit to live with and I could make a living. And I'm reasonably educated, reasonable. I'm not bragging myself. I know that, and people are saying it. So people must watch them out. When I say watch, I don't mean to say take it out and look at it, you know. You must be very careful when you have no experience in certain things. Don't say what you don't know. Thank you very much.
Thank you also, caller. Have a great morning. 445-2041. 445-2041. We're due for a break, but if a call comes within the next couple of seconds, we will entertain it or we go for the break. Let's go for the break. When we come back, we entertain more of your calls. Stay with us. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Monrouge Plain Field from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay, and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy, and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Tracksuit, water bottle, sneakers. It's It's time. Let's get ready to join us on the road this year for Quad Bank's annual Pump It Up Family Fun Walk. Tell your family and friends, and let's get moving towards a healthier lifestyle. Carry a coup. Come out in your numbers on Sunday, April 6th from 4 p.m. as we pump it up from Alexis Food Store's car park to the Hillsborough Tennis Court. On Sunday, May 4th, the action is on the mainland. We're hitting the road at 4 p.m. from Mon Rouge Playing Field to the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Registration ends on May 2nd or while stocks last. So get your packages today. Individual packages cost $20. For groups of 3 or more, packages cost $15 each. Proceeds go towards the Princess Royal Hospital in Carriacou. Visit our website for more details. See you on the road for Welcome Home.
TV. Let me say good morning to those of you who are, of course, just joining us this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those of you who've been with us at least for the last 30 minutes or so, thank you also for sticking around with us this morning. It's an open line edition here on today's edition of To The Point, so which means you have the option of calling in, sharing your views, sharing your concerns of issues that is of concern to you here on today's program. 435-2041, that's a number you can use for calling in on the program this morning. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, I have a concern. My concern is before, well, I have to say it's before, when vehicles have loud music, when they reach by a church, they lower it down and so. But now I realize that when they reach by the church, they have loud music, the big trucks blowing their horn. So you're inside the church and you can't even hear yourself because of what they do. And I think they must look into these things because when we start going on this road, before they pass, when they reach by the church or whatever, they low down or they go quietly. But now, when they reach there, they're just blowing. And when the big truck and them blow, it's sounding. It's like a big, I don't know how to call it because it's really loud. So I would like if people could have discretion, just use their discretion, that if they pass it, they know the church will just come there. It's there for a long time, so they know it have a church there. But when they reach right by the church, they blow the big horn from the big truck or the music is up and is noise going on the road. And I think people must have respect, not because we in a modern world, but I think people must have respect. Have a nice day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution also. 435-2041. Moving up to 20 minutes onto the 10 o'clock hour this morning here on the program. Open line edition of 4 to the Point. Let me say good morning to my dear friend Sherry. Sherry, good morning and thanks for listening and viewing this morning. Hope all is well with you. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you, sir?
Doing great, sir. Doing great. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, my contribution this morning for Enter the Grenada. I am telling you that I find time for to change some of the constitutional law in our country. Example, I believe anytime a man go to prison, the law is supposed to change. He's supposed to work for the state that give up his legal rights. Mm-hmm. And I believe that the government now they should bring a law. When you rape, they should make you work. When they sentence you, they should make you work 3 days a week in town, cleaning drains, so people go see the people. Because when you come into prison, you've been for 30 years, people know you, because you're born in America, England. When you thief a man in the garden, the 3 years that the government give you, 3 years the man should give you to stay in prison, so we'll work for the man back for the 3 years. So you can know how hard work is. Because a man working hard in the garden, and the day a man rip him off, you know how he feels? That you deliberate living. You understand me? When a man kill, as example, when a guy kills people in the yacht, they should prosecute already because you try to escape. You escape and you still going to commit crime. You're supposed to prosecute them already. That's something the law should look into. Some country law should change right now because we are still under the Queen. But I believe we should move under the Queen now because the Queen will support us.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your contribution this morning, sir. 435-2041, 435-2041. Lines are open. Let's hear from you in terms of your views, concerns, and issues you may like to speak about this morning. Feel free to do so. As indicated in the start of the program, there's no particular subject matter that we are dealing with this morning. It's opened for you to contribute here this morning on today's program. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you are live. Good morning.
And sir, grant me the permission.
And I beg of you to be brief, please, sir.
Yes. You know, even listening to what someone has said recently, quite recently, is the state or is the government responsible for making laws? I don't know. But this is the question I'm asking. I would think laws are made in accordance to what we want or how we want our country or different things to be governed. And it should be likely to be in the interest of the majority of people. So people have to say what they have experience in, and I have said it already. Now, I look at even some of people that say they're having experiences even in mathematics. There is nothing, every little thing, let's say at 39.47 as they would say. There is nothing as 0.47. Each little number is called a digit. Either you have a number of digits before the point, or you have digits after the point, or you don't even have a point. 39 is 39. 39, you say 0.47. You call out every digit after the decimal point. And 0.47 is quite different from 0.47. 47.47 is 47 over 100. So if you have 100 things and you give 47, you give 47 over 100. If you have 0.4 things, you give away 4 over 10. That is 4/10, 2/5. So this is what people must never call and say what they don't have experience in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. 435-2041. The lines are open to you this morning. It's an open line edition here for The Point, our final edition of To The Point for this week. Of course, it was a bit of not much of a program this week due to, of course, us carrying the Intercall, of course, championships. So we have quite a bit of a broken week in terms of the program. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, live. Good morning.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
There is this gentleman, Mr. Glen Telesford. Is that your name, sir?
Yes, that it is.
Yes, and I call to give you a compliment. I think you have been doing a wonderful job on this program. And hats off to you, my dear brother. Also, I just want, in general, some people to know that everybody is not at the same level. What the gentleman said there, yes, he's good. But at the same time, some people just wouldn't understand what he's talking about. I'm a retired teacher, and you have some children, so even some children who have not been academically inclined. So there are some people who just wouldn't know certain things. So I just want to point to that. Sometimes, sometimes we could be a little too critical about some issues because some people just wouldn't understand. They just wouldn't do certain things. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution also. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. And let's see this caller has to contribute this morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you. Now, what I want to say is that the gentleman that called a while ago concerning this math area, he is a gentleman that calls and he does have a good idea of things to offer. And most time he does try to express himself, but don't get the chance and the opportunity as many does. So please, when people come with these good ideas, grant them the opportunity to express themselves fully. Thank you.
Have a good morning, ma'am. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. Certainly all airs for everyone this morning on the program. 435-2041. We go back to the phone line. I do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Mr. Telesford, greetings.
Good morning to you, sir.
I beg your indulgences for 2 minutes.
Go right ahead, please.
First, I would like to throw a challenge out to, quote-unquote, the Grenada Postal Corporation. There are some serious deficiencies in the operation of that state entity. Very serious. It took me 8 minutes plus, because my clock don't speak out seconds, but it's beyond 8 minutes, for a telephone to be received in that place yesterday morning to find out about a transfer to Guyana of a document, which is now beyond 2 weeks. Ships cross the Atlantic within 2 weeks. But to get something from Grenada to Guyana is beyond 2 weeks. Doesn't sound normal. And also when we look at the highfalutin, quote-unquote, advertisements and promotions that they have on radio, I really do think that the Grenada Postal Corporation should consider serious changes to the operation to enhance the efficiency. Two, to end closely, Mr. Telesford, in recent times, more than ever, we've been seeing things in this here country related to the politics, quote-unquote, of this here country. And the mess, the commerce that took place in the Parliament of Grenada in the recent discussions over the budget, 2025 budget, sends the message clearer home. We have a major problem in the system under which we operate. And I'd like to suggest to Grenadians, the learned Grenadians, from those who are learned, quote-unquote, to those who are able to read, and so that they can teach others. I want us to look at the way that our system, or the system that we operate under, has been fooling us for years. I urge you, brothers and sisters, to look at the theory of separation of powers. It is written there, Mr. Google will Google will tell you. And not only there, all aspects related to it on all the major platforms. Separation of powers. It's the original concept, the doctrine, the principle, and we will see there, brothers and sisters, the serious problem that we have in this country where we hire people, we elect them as legislators, and they end up being the same executors, doing the same thing as was identified back there in the 17th and 18th century by John Locke and Baron de Montesquieu. The abuse of power, because it creates a condition where there's no separation of powers. Thus, there is no capacity for checks and balances and for the protection of liberty. They do what they do because the system permits them to do it. Section 56, I think it is. The morning after, they are hired as legislators, lawmakers. They become the executors, so they have 2 jobs. And this is what induces the corruption. Brothers and sisters, children in the secondary schools, take a look at the doctrine, separation of power. Or just put in there, John Locke, L-O-C-H, on the separation of powers. Or Montesquieu. You can put it as you hear it songs. Montesquieu, the computer will correct it for you, on the separation of powers. Learn how they've been, quote-unquote, thieving we had for years. Thank you very much, Mr. Telesford, for what it's worth.
Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's the course number if you want to be part of today's edition of To The Point. The lines are certainly open to you folks if you would like to be part of this program. We have approximately 9 more minutes left on today's program. Of course. I'm seeing someone is trying via the WhatsApp. Well, we've been having some issues via the WhatsApp, so I'm not sure if that caller is hearing me or if for some reason some audio from the WhatsApp seems to be of an issue lately. So until that is rectified, we may have to forego the WhatsApp calls. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Good morning, bro. How you doing?
Caller, good morning. You're live.
Good morning. How you doing, sir?
Not bad at all. Let's hear from you.
All right, good. A caller asked a question about how come schools could score points and some cannot score points. But this is serious, brother. This is serious politics on the ground. When I say politics, I don't mean that with the government, but it's true principals and teachers trying to get children to come to their school who can run, who can jump, who can do other things. When you go to a primary school sport and you look at children run, then the secondary schools would juggle, would fight for those children to come to their school and have them training. And sometimes the school have to go through a lot of expense for that student to really get to that level. Yeah, so principals in that particular school where that children is running, they have to take care of them. They take care of them, take care of everything. Their food, their this, their that, just name it. The therapy, they just name it. They have to pay money to take care of the children. It's very difficult and hard for those schools for them to reach that level. That's why some schools don't really bother because it's so much expense for them. So it's not an easy task. When you see schools doing good intercall, it's very difficult for that school to then reach that level. So some schools don't really bother because it's too much expense for those schools on it. Hence that they don't really bother. So some will always look good on top because the schools understand that they want bargain rights. So they would fight and spend money. Having a conversation with a principal, and he was like, time the government come out and help now because basically it's becoming too hard for schools to really take care of these kids in it. Because some of them come from poor background. And some of them don't have meal to eat sometimes. And the schools have to put out everything they have to help them out. And when they reach far now, you see people that do have nothing to do with the success on motorcades and taking all the bragging rights, like they helped them in the past to reach that level. I used to watch Mr. Spaceman Mitchell when he was Minister of Sports. Sometimes going around and beg for donation to help out athletes. It wasn't that easy, you know. It's a difficult task to get athletes to that level. People have to understand. Sometimes schools do well because the schools are then put out. And that is the task. And secondly, brother, people speak about the Muslims. And I understand that it can be a problem because the way the Muslims behave, sometimes they don't understand that they're not in their country. But something got to work out because in the future that can be a problem. It can be a clash. So I think the authorities need to have a meeting with them and make them understand, well, look, you are in a community with that people, in a country that people, yes, freedom of religion, but you need to turn on the PA system, whatever you're using to make the noise, and just a little bit so everybody can be happy.
All right.
As simple as that. Have a nice day, brother.
You too, sir. Have a good one, and bless the goes out to you. 435-2041, 435. Augusto, good morning. I know that you're saying that you're hearing me loud and clear. That seems to be the issue with the WhatsApp. You're hearing me loud and clear, but for some reason or the other, we are not hearing you back here within the studio. And on the program wrapped up, I certainly will try to have that problem rectified. So for now, we may have to forego calls via the WhatsApp. You're hearing me clearly, but somehow you're not coming across. That's basically the reason. 435-2041. We probably could accommodate another call or two before we take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, your life. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, GT, and congratulations. I heard that it's not just a nice voice you have, but you're very good technically, yeah?
All right.
So, congratulations. Yes. All right. I'm just asking, I'm just throwing that out. I heard that the young people from the athletes from Carriacou had to travel back and forth every day.
Was that so?
Yes, I heard it on different programs, on different interviews, and they had to travel every day to the sports. Yeah?
All right.
Wow.
You mean travel back to Carriacou and back to Grenada?
Yes.
That was a little bit
come in the morning and go back in the evening. So I just thought more people should become aware of that so that next time people can probably...
But there was no way of accommodating them here on the mainland?
I don't know. It sounds very strange, but I heard it from different sources.
I mean, when you think about it, that's a little bit inconsiderate in terms of, the fatigue that you will take for the travel from back to Carriacou and Grenada on a daily basis. I consider,
so we just don't know why. We don't know why, yeah?
Right.
But I heard that they still got a medal. Despite the challenges, they still got a medal.
Right.
But if somebody out there, if you can accommodate one more call and somebody can explain why, yeah?
That will be good.
Okay.
Thank you so
that will
much.
be
Appreciate
good.
your call. Have a
All
good
right.
morning. 4:45. We have just around 2 minutes or so to go before the top of the hour. We still have another call or two if it comes really quickly. Caller alive. Good morning.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Telesford.
Good morning to you, sir.
All right. This is a compliment. You know, you are the man for the program. I'm going to be very brief. Just in the name of religion, all right, people must be fair.
Mm-hmm.
People have to understand how songs travels. Song travels based on the wind. Now, I've been around this area. Sometimes they probably let us say rooms. Based on how the winds travel, you will hear that song up the PA. Sometimes you don't hear it.
And assuming, caller, just not to cut you, but assuming you're talking about the issue that everyone is talking in terms of the situation in that particular area.
I don't be brief on it. So, for example, if I just hold the crusade, and the crusade starts probably from 6 to about 9. Now, let us compare. Can anyone compare 3 minutes or 2 minutes and a half to 3 hours? No.
No, can't be compared, no.
Right. And then who really complains? Then secondly, just to be brief, in the case like that, those guys really had applied, and to give permission for such, this is not about politics now, it must have been revised. All right, so I guess the authorities at the time, they had already looked into it, and they grant the access.